It's time to travel. I think we've stayed indoors too long. It's time to start going international. But before you can travel, you probably need to sign up for a passport. In this particular video, I'll actually do a step-by-step process how you can be able to apply for a passport on the eCitizen platform. Subscribe to the channel. Let's get those credits rolling. In order for you to apply for your passport, you need to go to a government site known as eCitizen, and that's what we are going to do right now. We'll log in and then we can be able to apply for a passport. Once we have signed in, the thing we need to do is go under new applications, Directorate of Immigration Services, new applications, go and say get. We'll now go under passport application. You can apply, renew or replace your passport and pay for it online. If you require temporary permit and you're a foreigner, this is where you'll go. And if you need an e-visa, this works for foreigners as well. You can pay for it online as well. So we'll go under passport application. Then we'll come and choose the passport owner, your application or your child's application. So you can be able to do both. I'll guide you through the first because that's what most people require to do, your own application, and then you say next. So it has 9 pages which we are going to actually go through. Then if you have dual nationality, meaning you're a Kenyan citizen as well as a citizen of another country, for this case I'll just choose no, and then go to the next and say the passport type that I want. So on the drop down there is ordinary and diplomatic. For most people it will just be the ordinary passport. Then the type, if you want a first time passport, a replacement of previous passport, change of passport particulars, this is where you're probably changing a name or you have changed the name on your ID and you want to change it as well on the passport. Mutilated passport, meaning that it has an issue or it got lost. So for this case we are doing a first time passport. How many pages do we want it to be? Do we want it to be a 50 pages or 66 pages? So for most of us we'll just choose 50 pages. Of course you can do the 66 one if it will cost a bit more. Then who in your parent has a passport? I'll say parent. And then the personal number, immigration file number. I'll place in my ID number. And then the next place I'll go to, select location to submit application. So there are different places where you can be able to submit an application for your passport. Within Kenya, it is in Nairobi, Kisumu, Mombasa, Eldoret, Embu, Nakuru and Kisii. And in the US, you can do it in Washington, in London, Pretoria, South Africa, Berlin, Paris and Dubai. Gender, color of eyes, I know mine are brown. Any special peculiarities, I'll write none or not applicable. How many feet, my height. Then place of birth, I was born in the city center. Country of birth, for us we choose Kenya. Citizen by birth. Naturalization is for those people who were not born in Kenya but have become Kenyan citizens by naturalization. Then the PIN number, birth entry number here stands for your birth certificate number, your profession, marital status, so you put in your spouse's name, place of marriage. If your name has been changed other than by marriage, you say no. Reason of travel, you can say work or whatever reason it is. If you're going for school, education, visit, medical, official, settlement, Hajj, Umrah or sports, I'll just say work. Country of residence, where do you live? We live in Kenya. The postal address, phone number, in this format you start with 254. Then a state where we stay, house number or village, and then email address. Then we go to the next page. Then your father's status, if they're available, the full name of your parents, and the passport number if they have a passport number, postal address of the parent, their phone number as well. Then you do the same for mother's details. Then the next thing is to go to the next. Then first next of kin and the second next of kin. So here usually you put your closest family member. If you're married, then that needs to be your spouse. Then you go to the next page. Do you have children? You'll say yes, and then you'll need to place their contacts there as well. If you do not have children, you'll choose no and just go to the next page. So for my case, I'll say, for this example, I'll just say no, go to the next page. The application must be recommended in this section by a citizen of Kenya who personally knows the applicant but not an immediate relative. So you'll actually place in someone else here who you can be able to have as a recommender. So you can talk to a friend of yours who can do this for you, and then we can be able to go to the next step. On this page, you'll find the passport application form, where you'll now click here to download the passport application form, which will require for you to print it and sign it. And once you have signed it, you'll need to re-upload it here. Then your ID copy, your birth certificate copy, your mother's and father's ID copy, and your recommender's ID copy, and then you'll click on complete. So the changes you make will be saved as draft and will not reflect in the application until you submit the form at the very end. So once you have done this, you'll be required to pay an amount that will now show after you have submitted those details. Once you have done that, you will have your passport. So that is a simple way on how you can be able to apply for your passport.